gonna try and record post-commentary like this now. For whatever reason, my microphone has been really odd on me right now. And, yeah, unless... Oh, no wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just go to sleep. And with that, a new day has arisen, and with it, and the start of an event as well. This event was obviously in the anime. I think pretty much every event in this game was in the anime. Now something Duel Academy did better as well. It had events that you could only access in that game, and it was not in the anime at all. Trust me, I've watched all of it. And in case you're wondering what the event is, well, probably another thing that Duel Academy did right that... Actually, no, Duel Academy did wrong that Spirit Caller did correctly, was that it redid this event in a much better fashion. Now, you had Briar and Beauregard in the previous games I'd said before. However, they weren't really... The event that happened wasn't really as good. I don't even remember what triggered it, but in this game, to trigger the event, which is this event going on right now, all you have to do is duel Briar and Beauregard. If I remember correctly, at least once. I mean, you can duel more often if you want to register them, but again, that's getting ahead. Once this event happens, you can't duel them, and you'll see why pretty soon. And Dr. Trial's like, hee, I'll win either way. Yeah, you and your pink room and your purple lipstick and... Oh, I remember this. I was like, new pack, alright, 3 packs. That means I can finally start selling out multiple packs. And so, I try and do the glitch. I'm thinking, okay, I'll take this. And then I forget to uncheck a pack. Meaning I get all the packs I want. Problem, I can't do the glitch again. Well, you know, you learn something new every day. Now I know that you can uncheck. You don't have to uncheck that one pack. It's just good for allowing you to get the other packs. I'm like, well, crap here. But again, I have so much money from saving up money from using the glitch before that I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna buy some packs legitly. Oh, Duel Academy, how much I used to love you, and now it's like Sonic Adventure. Yeah, I'm actually considering doing a Sonic playthrough actually pretty soon, because I've been watching a lot of Brain Scratch commentaries, and they've done a lot of Sonic games, and unlike a lot of Sonic fans out there, sorry to say this, but they have their head screwed on right. They have good opinions, and they usually try not to be biased. I say usually because, yes, I can realize that sometimes their opinions on games are horribly biased because of their childhood. Now, Sonic Adventure didn't really age well because, from what I heard, the controls are different, and also there's the animation. My goodness, the animation. And in case you're wondering, I just updated my interlude deck a little bit more, but more Sonic. Anyway, as I was saying about Sonic, Sonic Adventure didn't age well because of its animation. I mean, good grief, the talking and stuff is horrible. And right about this part is where the event starts to take over the regular life. What happens is you're in something called Endless Night mode now, where you can go around as much as you want, duel whoever you want, and not get sent back to your dorm early. Now this is a very useful mode for registering duelists and for a very important function much later on in the game. They're almost always events, and here I'm showing what you have to do to trigger to continue the event so that you can actually finish it at some point. And if you see there, I actually registered Cyrus. Although as you can also see, I dueled one of the bug guy like 14 times, and he didn't register me. And you're gonna love this here, why I'm showing off this guy, even though I know you can't duel him yet. So yeah, it turns out you can only register one person per endless night. Don't really know why it does that. I mean, you would think a game centered around dueling so much would actually let you continue, but alas. Now for the event, turns out the Obelisk Blue people are being targeted. Well, good for them, the elitist noobs. Anyway. And so, yeah, once you talk to this, if you go back and you talk to Torimaki, however you pronounce that, I know the Japanese vowels are all short and stuff, but I'm not exactly perfect at pronouncing them either. Yeah, guess what? After you talk to him, he suddenly decides, you know what? You're good enough to duel. And Torimaki, oh my. He's not that bad of a duelist. I mean, his deck is actually decent for this point in the game. It's a dragon-centered deck, and oh my, does he use that theme. Immediately gets out one of his best cards, Mountain, which gives his dragon monsters a slight boost and can cause torture if you aren't expecting it. And yeah, this guy can pretty well top deck you, but he's still not that bad compared to the kind of duelist you're gonna have to fight eventually. And this duel is just kind of boring. I mean, there are some parts where he does a pretty good maneuver, or where I do a pretty good maneuver, but back to the Sonic series. I'm a Sonic fan. I'm not really sure how I got into the series. Earliest parts of my childhood include watching some of the adventures of Sonic, which even back then I saw as being a horrible show. And I'm talking like, this is way back too. I never really watched SatAM. And I never really got into Sonic X either. All I know is that at some point I just started... Well, actually I did play Sonic a little bit. Emulated, of course, because I never really owned a Genesis. I wasn't really too much of a 90s kid. And I played the first Sonic. Oh wait, I remember how I got into Sonic. I played through all the Sonics whenever I figured out that you could play a Super Sonic as early as 2. And I was like, I always wanted to play these games anyway. Might as well start now. And so I play Sonic the Hedgehog, but yeah, the original one always made me mad for some reason. I just kind of stopped playing it, even whenever I got it as a PS2 collection. And yeah, that was about all the Sonic games I played for the longest. I did get into I did play Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 Knuckles, but I don't know, I just had some kind of thing against the Genesis games after my horrible experience with Sonic 1. And then playing Sonic 2, I started hating on the final boss, because how can you not? It has a horrible learning curve there. I mean, really? No rings, which means one-hit kill, and a final boss with a very annoying hitbox. And so, for the longest, that was all the Sonic I played. I couldn't really own any of the others, since Sonic 4 was on the Wii for the longest. And then I found out around Christmas time this year, oh hey, Sonic 4 and most of the classic Sonic games are ported onto the iOS iTouch system now. So I play them on that system, and I get Sonic 1 and Sonic 4, Episode 1 of course. Episode 2 hasn't quite been released yet. I hate Sonic 4. I hate the Sonic 1 port because it had horrible controls. I'm talking just meh controls. And then Sonic 4. Ooh, I love Sonic 4. I'm sorry all you haters of physics and green eyes. Don't get me started on the green eyes. And other petty stuff like that, but I really, really did like Sonic 4. Mostly because of how it combined the first series, like the Genesis titles, with the more modern stuff, like the homing attack, mid-air dash. You know, just general fun stuff. And I liked its soundtrack, and just overall I thought it was a good game. Of course, then I got into Brain Scratch, and I started rethinking my old Genesis hatred. I saw they were playing the games, and they actually looked pretty decent. And then I just decided today, actually, you know what? I want to replay Genesis games, but not only am I going to replay them, I'm going to replay them for the internet. And so, pretty soon, probably around the time this part gets out, I'm going to do a reconsidered run of Sonic 1, 2, and 3 Knuckles. Not at the same time, of course. Oh no. I want to go through each one completely. And here I just buy some more packs. I don't even put any of them in. I'm just trying to get some more stuff while I can, cannot use the pack glitch. So that's my plan. I'm gonna try and put it out there pretty soon. So back to this game, now that I've gotten all my Sonic history stuff and why exactly I'm doing a Sonic run, even though billions of people have done it already. And so in this game I finally do the event where you can go out and fight who you're supposed to. Now, generally, I would go to the south so that you can, where I pretty much always found him. He's just a random encounter, and you'll know him whenever you see this Mystery Man. Now, this deck is actually pretty difficult. It's kind of a fiend deck similar to later duelists you'll find, and this is the shadow game, meaning that if you lose this duel, you get an automatic game over. Kind of annoying, but you're probably saved, and it's an endless hunt anyway, so just be careful whenever you go out to fight this guy. Now this guy, the event was done pretty horribly because all that happened in the Game Boy Advance game was you fought a blackened out Beauregard avatar, and you knew it was Beauregard the whole time. I mean, it wasn't even close to how good that one looked. And here I was wondering, wait a second, I know Gels of Dark Demise's effect. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right, it's worthless because if it gets attacked, then your end phase comes and you just get it back. So, yeah, again, you learned something new. Now, this guy can top deck you because of the good cards he has for this early on, like Newdoria, Fiend's Sanctuary, Bark of Dark Ruler especially, and overall just cards that will generally annoy you with the crappy starter deck and stuff you have in the beginning of the game if you don't use the pack glitch. If you use the pack glitch, your deck should be fine at this point. If you're wondering why I don't attack the Metal Fiend token, it's because of its effect. That's very obvious in the anime. If you attack it, you may destroy it, but you take the damage directly to your life points, which is no bueno. And besides, he loses 1,000 life points each turn he keeps it alive, so might as well keep it alive. Another card he has in this deck that can really mess you up would be the Goblin King, which gains 1,000 attack points for each fiend on his side of the field. And that's bad, because usually he has plenty of these guys out. And you should try and use a lot of monster destruction cards to prevent any kind of accumulation. And also, its effect makes it so that you have to attack, I'm pretty sure you have to attack every single fiend monster before it. You know, something along those lines like Command Knight or yeah, I think Command Knight's about the only other one that does that. Other cards that have that kind of effect like Marauding Knight or Magician's Valkyrie are usually the opposite, in that you have to attack it before you can attack anything else. You know, the same type, of course. Yeah, something else this game does pretty well is its card distribution. A big problem was you saw the exact same cards over and over and over and over again in Duel Academy, especially the limited cards. In this game, oh yeah, when they did show other cards, it was done so poorly that you could barely tell that it was done so poorly that you usually fought the different deck once, and it was horrible trying to defeat it before it. Quick note here. I destroy Eudoria thinking, okay, if it's a Eudoria, then it'll just destroy one of my attacking monsters. Nope, this game's AI is actually high enough to target the stronger monster, knowing that it'll be better in the end. Again, another holdover from the AI I had to deal with in Duel Academy. This game just has better overall card usage, because the early characters use all the crappy cards that you would never think to use, and never do use. And so, this game also does something, and might as well just say it now, I've said it like 700, I've hinted to it 720 times before anyway. What happens in this game is that, after certain events, some duelists change their decks, which I thought was an amazing idea the first time I heard it around, because, again, Duel Academy. That game scarred me for life. So, you know, you just see generally better cards. I mean, even the worst duelists in the game, like Irishi and other people like that, and some of the stronger duelists, they change their decks around, which gives them different cards to show, which is a good idea, because even if you don't fight them over and over again, at least you have a different deck instead of the same deck over and over again throughout the whole game. And what's even better is that at the very end of the game, I'm talking after game, is whenever you have another system going on with the changing decks, where each like main character, characters you couldn't really fight until the very end of the game, they have two decks, like two or more decks with them at all times. One deck being the theme, the fully padded out theme you've been waiting for the whole game, and the second one being usually just a random deck you never expected them to have. And so, that's all the stuff I have to say about cards. Now the day is over, night is nigh. Something I couldn't have said throughout the last, like, what, 2 or 3 parts. And similar to in the anime, Jane's like, well, crap, what can we say now? What do we have to say to Crowler now? So I just show off what happens. You know, just go to school the next day, la-di-da-di-da. And you just, one of the best cop-out moments ever, you just go to Crowler and he's like, well, what happened? Oh, nothing, see you, bye. Wait, what? Bye. It's an amazing scene. I think it was even better in the anime. Alright, I've ranted enough, given enough future plans for the day. And they walked out on him. How rude.